As time progresses, I find myself wondering, am I one of the last cognitive thinking human beings on Earth? Is that it? Is this my curse? Is that it, God? You want me to be just rational enough to realize that the whole shitstorm is hitting the fucking ground? This shit snackery is out of control. I feel like Mr. Leafy from the Trailer Park Boys, with all the shitisms I could think of.
Clings to the air, Andy.
Shit clings to the air?
It's already started, my dear good friend.
What started, Mr. Leahy?
The shit blizzard.
The new problem with YouTube is its new algorithm. These things seem to come all the time. YouTube algorithms remind me of high school algebra. The second I got my head wrapped around it and I could do it and I understood it and it's like now I can do better, then the rules just fucking change. And I'm sitting there like, what the fuck? Fuck this, I'm out. Fuck you, math teacher. I'm done. You never need algebra in real life. When was the last time you used algebra at the supermarket? But for real, YouTube has a new problem. And that is it's going mainstream. And the average YouTuber or even the big YouTubers seem to confuse freedom of speech as a right to get paid. Sort of like how the average American confuses nationalism and patriotism. These are two very different things, and they're very dangerous to confuse.
What the fuck are you talking about, Gundam? My voice is harsh.
Point being, making money on YouTube is a privilege, not a right. Much like your rights as an American citizen. You don't believe me? Ask the Japanese after World War II in the internment camps. Look it up. But the latest changes with YouTube has started making things advertiser unfriendly. Now, the LGBT and a couple gay YouTubers who I don't know much about, Tyler Oakley, were also mislabeled as advertiser unfriendly. Now, I don't mind not being able to make money from videos because frankly this isn't my source of income, so I don't give a rat's ass. Point being, I understand that for advertisers you have to be kinda squeaky clean. Now, take in point, Howard Stern. I used to love listening to Stern in the 90s.
A woman had an orgasm on the air.
This is the best sex I ever had.
They tried to shut him up.
You want to tame him?
Did you say testicles on the air?
Oh, yes.
Switch him off.
Oh, my God. She has swallowed an entire 13-inch kielbasa. You gotta love that, folks.
Back in LA, I'd listen to Conway and Steckler at like 3, 4 in the morning. Then, no, wait, actually, I'd listen to Howard Stern at 3, 4 in the morning. Then Conway and Steckler would come on, then they rerun Howard Stern again. Now, the key thing was to listen to Howard Stern at 3 or 4 in the morning because it would be unedited. Once the FCC and all those other guys got their hold of the Howard Stern show when it was rerun at 6 a.m. in California time, they'd edit out a lot of stuff that was deemed inappropriate for radio. Now I understand that these advertisers want squeaky clean images. At one point in the 90s, Howard Stern made some fun of the Tejano singer Selena. She got shot by her manager back in the 90s. She was famous for Bidi Bidi Bamba. It was like the movie that launched Jennifer Lopez on us. I know, Jennifer Lopez movies, another sign of the apocalypse. But point being, he said some stuff that he found funny, but many people found offensive. And at the time I found it funny, but in retrospect after listening to it again, I could see the offensiveness. Now, on top of that, let's take into account that I was a fan of Stern, so that made me somewhat biased to his actions. And this is something that people who are fans of any one of your favorite YouTubers or whatever should always take into account. Just because it doesn't offend you, doesn't mean it doesn't piss somebody else the fuck off. Keep it in check. And most people don't until they're offended by the person they like, and then all of a sudden, they turn their backs. People are such fickle things these days. Now, back to the issue at hand. Howard Stern got in trouble. There was a huge backlash. He was taken off a lot of markets from his syndication. And he lost many huge sponsors, like Snapple, which Snapple at the time endorsed Jerry Seinfeld and Howard Stern. Talk about two polar opposites. This is happening on YouTube. A lot of the bigger advertisers are pulling out because journalists from the Wall Street Journal have pointed out that some unsavory videos were having very big ads played on them. People were making money from this. Just because you have an opinion doesn't mean you have a right to get paid for it. You can go to work and pop off at the mouth, and I guarantee you it'll land you in HR. And if you don't lose your job, you will be in trouble for a while or you'll have some strikes. Don't confuse it, you know? So if you want to make money on YouTube, you're gonna have to go squeaky clean. Guys like Tech Deals, Jay's 2 cents, Linus's Tech Tips, I was about to say Linus's 2 cents, level 1 techs, etc. These sort of people are going to be fine, including that iJustine chick. They're squeaky clean, they've got a huge following, and they don't say anything controversial. If you want to make money, you gotta do that. People like One-san, who's crying a river that his YouTube channel's dying, he kinda had it coming. If you know anything about that guy, he's basically a walking YouTube comment. Yeah, he's that bad. Another case in point, remember the Olympic swimmer Michael Phelps? You should, because he won some gold recently again. Back in 2009, Michael Phelps got totally caught smoking pot. To me, I say no big deal, you know? In fact, Michael Phelps smoking pot seems like a great endorsement for pot. The dude is smoking a doob and could still win the gold. Imagine if he was smoking Marlboros. I guarantee you he wouldn't have won the gold. Long story short, this tarnished his squeaky clean image, and he lost all his endorsements, including ones with Wheaties. Who gives a shit he smoked pot? But that's how these corporations are. It's really, really, really weird when you think about it. Corporations are lying, skeevy, mischievous, evil, money-grubbing sacks of shit that would fuck your mother, wink at you twice, and then tell you you owe them $50. But when they want people to advertise their stuff, they want the squeakiest to squeaky clean. They want good, wholesome people to be behind their stuff. So the irony is not lost upon me. If you want to do better on YouTube as far as making money, be clean. I think the fallout happened with Leafy. Damn One Piece. I was about to scream believe it, but that's Naruto. My fault. Leafy, for instance. I'm sure you remember him because Leafy was huge. In fact, I think Leafy was bigger than PewDiePie in his heyday. He damn sure got more vids per video, and he was making $200,000 per month. But Leafy wasn't exactly a great guy. I mean, for instance, he had other people write his stuff and edit his videos, which was horrible, but he also picked on people that shouldn't have been picked on. I mean, easy targets. He made fun of a guy who had mental disabilities, who'd made a video walking around helping people at the supermarket. A lot. I mean, that's low, even for me, and I'm a bottom feeder. So I think with the fall of Leafy came the changing of the guard, if you will. YouTube became more aware that a lot of the biggest stuff going on and people making money were probably huge assholes even on the internet. Now don't get me wrong, at least Leafy was upfront with who he was, and that I can respect. But there are other bigger YouTubers that I know for a fact are assholes. But I'm not going to name names because people don't want to believe that their favorite YouTuber is an asshole. Because it's just how people are, really. They're not really interested in reality. They want a whole lot of fantasy. But point being, YouTube made the change there. And with that change, ad revenue changed, the search engines changed, criteria changed. It's as if like overnight Leafy ceased to exist. He went from being an unstoppable force to someone that you don't really think about anymore unless you knew about him beforehand. And even smaller YouTubers that dare wouldn't speak against him all of a sudden grew balls like Review Tech USA and went after the guy. It's funny. These changes have come into effect, and as time has progressed, it's become more and more abhorrent and apparent YouTube is going mainstream. And if you want to make money in YouTube, you gotta play the game. And in fact, I don't even know how anyone couldn't see this coming. YouTubers like Casey Neistat hitting the scene and blowing up, a guy who had an HBO show before he was big on YouTube, it's a clear indication that everything is gearing towards those who have money and power and influence. Beforehand, Saturday Night Live, you wouldn't see a Saturday Night Live clip on YouTube. Do you know why? Because Saturday Night Live didn't respect YouTube. NBC, CBS, CNN, etc. They saw YouTube as just some stupid platform that guys who got kicked in the nuts made videos for. That was it. It was where people ate egg, cheese, bacon, ham, potato, and minced berry pie sandwiches in epic mealtime. YouTube did make money, but it wasn't a force. Now YouTube is a force. Now YouTube is a thing. YouTube is becoming a part of the larger media system, and one day it may become the biggest. It's only a matter of time as the internet grows bigger. And my case in point yet again, YouTube is already launching YouTube TV. It's official now in most US markets and mobile devices for $35 a month. And you're sitting there going, what the fuck is YouTube TV? I'm not quite sure myself, but it has all the hallmarks of the typical basic cable broadcast setup. For those of you who weren't alive during cable, there were sort of tiers. Basic cable gave you a couple channels like CNBC, CBS, Fox, NBC, ABC, etc. The big four, as they called it. And if you paid a little extra, you got ESPN, Disney Channel, HBO, etc. But check this out. YouTube announces its first TV service in February, and today it has launched officially in select US markets. The exclusive TV service broadcasts 4 big networks. What a surprise! Didn't I just say the big 4? Club with other unlimited channels and unlimited DVR functionality on top of that. All of this for $35. Under the $35 per month subscription, users get access to 4 big TV networks, we go again, CBS, Fox, NBC, and ABC, along with the bigger broadcasters, ESPN, Disney, NBC, CBS, and Fox channels. So there's other Fox channels that are into this. See what's happening here? See the big change? Soon, YouTube is going to be barely about the average person. In time, it's going to be big networks and people who are already huge on YouTube, and the rest of us floundering at the bottom like douchebags until some other network comes and usurps YouTube. And I know people are saying vid.me, but honest to God, if you don't already have a built-in audience in YouTube to support you in vid.me, you're going to be lost in the sauce again. It's the same old situation, the same old song and dance. Now, you might sit there, and some people out there who I highly doubt have made it this far because most people have the attention span of an amoeba. But in all honesty, some people have the gall to sit there and go, oh, well, maybe your content just isn't that good. You only have 8,000 subs, scrub lord. And then I bring to you this. A girl called Poppy.
Poppy, I'm Poppy. 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 Poppy. I'm Poppy. Poppy. I'm Pop. I'm Poppy. Poppy. I'm Poppy. I'm Poppy. I'm Poppy. I'm Poppy. So many. Why so many? Hi. Today I'm on the floor.
What the fuck is going on there?
This is a clear sign that not everything is right in the world. Just because something has a lot of subscribers doesn't mean it's necessarily good. Keep that in mind from now on. This girl's YouTube channel has, I'm sure, 1 million subs at the very least. And she releases some of the most pointless, asinine videos that I guess borderline on the strange, demented, and twisted rather than entertaining, insightful, or informative. And I do understand that YouTube needs to make money. That's why it's making these moves. They have to keep their advertisers happy. On top of that, keep in mind whatever you want doesn't matter to YouTube. You're not paying them. Even the bigger YouTubers, PewDiePie, Jacksepticeye, whatever, they can cry all they want sometimes, and YouTube isn't going to do shit because they pay them from what they make from advertisers. If PewDiePie left YouTube tomorrow, nothing would change. As much as PewDiePie fans want to believe it wouldn't. Just like Michael Jackson dying, people thought it'd be the end of pop music. The world seems to be going just fine without him. That's my point. Just because you love something unconditionally doesn't mean it is the be-all end-all. As YouTube grows as a platform at an exponential rate, it has to maintain servers, and money has to keep coming in so they can do this. And I will admittedly say, for every one good YouTube video, there's probably millions of shit ones. I mean, I have seen some really bad YouTube videos as of late, from smaller YouTubers. I was under the delusion that small YouTube channels were at least on par with me, if not better. And I've come to the realization that this is not the case. In fact, there's a lot of really bad small YouTube channels. But that's probably a video for another time. And I've talked far too long, and my points are probably sporadic and everywhere. But as they say, creative people have a hard time filtering their ideas. If you don't believe me, Google it, and then you'll realize
Gundam is goddamn creative.
Oh, and I forgot the most important part. As things become labeled advertiser unfriendly, YouTube is also making the disgusting move of hiding videos that they deem are unfriendly. This can only move forward to kill channels, such as my own. I've noticed that my growth rate went up, and then it dropped lower than ever before. to the point of where it's like, good God, maybe Oni-san and some of these other YouTubers complaining about being taken off the search engine has some sort of merit or credence, despite the fact he's a scumbag. If this is the case, then there'd be no point for me continuing YouTube, because at this point, it's just me screaming off into the void. And frankly, I can do that in my fucking living room, I can do it in my kitchen, I can do it in my bedroom, I can do it in my pillow, and I'd save a hell of a lot of time on editing, for God's sakes. Ah, screw it. I'm gonna go have some juice. Good old-fashioned apple juice.
I'm Poppy.